Good morning, everybody. This is Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest, and today we're going to be talking about Auroralynx, very similar to how we talked about Relics. I'm going to showcase some of the abilities. We're going to talk about what Auroralynx does. Auroralynx, if you don't know, is one of probably the most important familiars releasing, very similar to Relics. So let's go ahead, talk about this, and dig in. Now, Auroralynx was released with the Halloween Chapter 3 event, so do keep that in mind. Whenever you see this chapter event being teased or potentially releasing, that's probably when Auroralynx is going to follow. Now, Auroralynx is a very powerful rare plus familiar, and we do have Halloween coming up, so I think it's possible we could potentially end up with Auroralynx and with Relics being really close to each other in terms of release. I would not even be surprised if they released simultaneously next to each other. So why am I talking about Auroralynx in context of Relics? That's because Relics is going to be a very popular familiar that people are going to pull for, and they naturally are going to counter each other in familiar arena, right? So there's kind of three layers that we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about PvE, PvP, and familiar arena. First off, familiar arena, naturally they're going to counter each other, right? Auroralynx is going to be the light element that opposes Relics, which is the dark element. And you're going to be in a situation where if you don't have like an Awaken 10 bird, Relics is probably going to destroy your familiar arena composition because you're not really running light element units in your familiar arena. I think the only light element unit I see people running nowadays is going to be bird. Sometimes I see bunny bot, but that's very few and far between nowadays. So something to think about in terms of long-term familiar arena playing. Now, what does Auroralynx do for the party? The standard buff that Auroralynx gives for itself and for you is the standard rare plus buff, right? That's going to be increased attack up based on the number of attack-based familiars in your party. Auroralynx being a light attack-based familiar is also really good because, again, the only other light attack-based familiars we have are going to be Sparky and the Sunflower, so this is going to be really great for a lot of people. The other thing that goes with the active ability for Auroralynx is that it does stun the opponent when you do use it, so you are going to be able to use it as a stun in PvP. Now, does that mean you're probably going to be running Kona, Auroralynx, and Relics in PvP? It's absolutely possible that's going to be the formation that you're running, and I think a lot of people will be leaning into that into the future as the quote-unquote meta of the game. Now, in addition to stunning, it also increases damage to enemies that are afflicted with flash. Now, keep in mind that the Flower as well as Sparky do indeed flash the opponent, so it's going to increase your overall damage against those targets, which will be very good, particularly in PvE. You're going to be very, right now on the global side, everybody's debuffs applies to each other. So for example, if another player casts flash on a field boss, you're going to benefit from that damage bonus if you are running your Auroralynx, right? And you are using your ability, so you don't necessarily have to have Sparky set. That'll change in the future when the debuff changes come through and your only debuffs apply to yourself, right? But for right now, you are going to benefit from this a lot in PvE. Again, though, you're probably going to be using Auroralynx mostly for PvP and for familiar arena. Lots of people are going to be pulling for Auroralynx, and I have a feeling what's going to happen is Relics is going to come out, or Auroralynx is going to come out. One of them is going to come out first, and the second one, right, whether that's Relics or whether it's Auroralynx, the second one to come out, people aren't going to pull for as much. So if you're being strategic and you want to think about the future in Ni no Kuni and kind of the direction your account's going, if you have a bird set up already or you have a really powerful bunny bot in your composition, you may already be in a good place to counter Relics. So you may want to grab, potentially a Relics for yourself to counter Auroralynx's. Or if you don't have a really powerful light unit, you may want to hold if Relics comes out first, because you may want to grab a bunch of Auroralynxes. So I would only grab like one copy of Relics for now, and then grab a bunch of Auroralynxes to support you. Now, Auroralynx is also a limited familiar, so you need to keep that in mind. You really want to try and get Auroralynx to Awaken 3 or Awaken 7 are going to be the really important breakpoints for the passive bonuses. But overall, this is all stuff we've seen before, and I think most people know that Auroralynx and relics are going to be the future of the game. They're like, unless we get a really powerful, like, you know, global exclusive familiar coming out soon, I think these two are just going to predominantly destroy the meta in the game. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you guys are hyped for Auroralynx, and I hope that, you know, you do save some tickets and that you get both Auroralynx and relics. And I will catch you guys next time.